And we're talking about the hot political issues with local Congressman Brian Bilbray this morning.
Yeah, from the former Congressman Mark Foley to illegal immigration, the 50th District Republican joins us this morning with what's happening in Washington and around the world. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
How you doing?
Okay.
Very well.
Plenty going on. Let's start off with Mark Foley and what is happening there. First of all, you know, when you work with somebody, you get the buzz about them. Did you ever know anything about the way he was talking to these underage pages and the emails? Were there ever any rumblings about it?
No, I mean, it was pretty well understood that he was gay, but, you know, you have that's not a big deal. But obviously you didn't know these kind of conversations and where they're getting into. And actually what's sort of interesting about this whole turn of affairs is that most of these conversations were done after pages had left the page system and they were out of state. And because they were out of state, now it has triggered an FBI investigation that Speaker Hastert wants, based on a law that we passed, that the Congress passed just recently, that Mr. Foley supported. So this, what goes around comes around sometimes.
Yeah, well, he was talking about how we need to be, you know, tougher on sexual predators and people that are going after our young children, and then you see some of these explicit emails. It is a little ironic.
It makes you think, that's for sure, about what the heck is going on over there.
And what about this protest that we heard? It's a protest going on out in front of your old house, right, in Imperial Beach, is that right?
Yeah, that's what I was sort of interesting. I heard there was a protest in my house. I called home and asked my mother if anybody's out there, and she goes, no. And then we find out that they're heading the wrong way. They were waiting to catch me coming out of my house. They should have been in Carlsbad. And actually, they're going to run into problems. My daughter walks out of the, she's taken over the house this week, and it's going to be interesting to see if they run into this 19-year-old blonde.
She's a tough cookie, we understand.
She told Karl Rove exactly what to do with the Mount Soledad cross and a couple of other things. But yeah, they're going to be a little surprised if they run into her.
Apparently, they are concerned that, you know, and this is something that probably a lot of people don't really understand, but congressmen can donate to other congressmen for their campaigns. And apparently, was it that you donated to his campaign or he donated to your campaign, and they're upset about this?
Well, like according to your desk, I mean, they say, well, we think he might have done that, but we don't know. I mean, it's kind of like shoot first, ask questions later. As far as I know, and all the research we've seen, no, there hasn't been any contributions from Foley. But this is the tactics they're doing. This is campaign time, silly time. You know, they were attacking me getting elected back in June. The judge said, look, this is absolutely absurd and throw it out. They're trying to sue again. It's the same thing they were talking about, taking this contribution that never existed as far as anybody knows, but they rather make the claim first, try to get the political traction because they need something to try to move a political agenda. It's too bad the truth is the first thing that's sacrificed in a political process.
Well, that is true, and perhaps you all can do something about that.
Absolutely.
Because it's, you know, you guys putting the campaigns on. In that particular case. All right, let's talk about the situation with the immigration. Down in National City, as you know, Mayor Nick Nzonza has declared a sanctuary city. Big rally again over the weekend. By the way, he wants to debate you on this issue.
Oh, he does?
He told us that.
What do you think about that?
I would love to do that. I mean, the fact is the absurdity of saying that somehow a city is going to supersede the federal government's rights of immigration control. And for a city that claims to be wanting to fight lawlessness, to actually sit there and encourage people who are breaking our federal laws to come into the community. I think that there needs to be some accountability that Mr. Nzonza, National City is part of the United States, not some other country. And you have a right in local government, but you also have a responsibility to follow federal law and not encourage people to break the law.
He also admitted, though, when Dan asked him, he said, this is mostly a political move. This is just sort of, you know, it's a piece of paper. It really doesn't have any teeth, is what you mentioned. Yeah, there's not much that he can
It is a very dangerous statement, though, because what he should understand is a signal it's sending to people all over the world that come here illegally and we'll reward you and we're going to help you break the law. And, you know, more people die every year coming into this country illegally than are killed in the Oklahoma explosion a few years ago. He's just as responsible now of enticing people to come here illegally and go through that dangerous situation. So I don't think he should be playing politics with people's lives or with our laws and our national security.
Well, certainly is getting a lot of attention.
He certainly is. Now, will you follow through with what you talked about taking away money that he would have for Homeland Security if he continues to go this path?
Absolutely. I think that any city that wants to play this game should not be coming to the federal government and saying we need funding for Homeland Security when we're encouraging people to break our laws and be here. You got to remember, the 9/11 terrorists were here illegally. They were given driver's licenses, even though they were illegally here, and they used those driver's licenses to get on an airplane and kill 3,000 Americans. Mr. Nzunza and everybody who thinks it's not a big deal ought to remember what happened 9/11 and who killed our American fellow citizens.
All right. Brian Bilbray, thank you so much. Always a pleasure to have you on with us. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.